Hello guys, my name is Viet. I view my mom as one of the best human beings. I have a lot of memories of him beating my mom and my sister. People come up to me and they tell me like, you're a big inspiration to me. I'm just another guy with like some followers. And I told him like, next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you. TikTok apparently found my mugshot. Within like 2 weeks, I was sitting at like 350,000 followers.
Damn, bro.
I know I want love, but I know in searching it right now, it's only to fill a void. At 17, I ran away and was essentially homeless. I was sleeping on random people's floors. I realized that if I kept doing this, like I was never gonna ever fall in love again or find a girlfriend or find someone I cared about. He walked out, looked me in my eyes and shook my hand right after f***ing my girl.
If you don't mind me asking, what were the reasons that you were in jail?
Honestly,
have you ever, I don't know if you're too familiar with EDM music, who was it? Stefan told me that he brought you guys out to like a John Summit, like techno set.
Yeah, for New Year's.
Yeah.
You know Stefan?
Yeah, I do.
He's a boy.
He's actually, he's like I'm part of his management team and he's like my advisor for like the businesses that I'm getting started off. So yeah, I have like a weekly call with him.
Stefan's a good guy.
Yeah, he's fucking dope. But yeah, I don't know if you've heard of the DJ Whipped Cream. Sorry if Whipped Cream sees this, but she has the loudest, screechiest voice on the planet. At least she's known for it. Yeah. So whenever she's calling out on her DJ set, she's like, "Thank you guys, I love you."
Damn. I've noticed Korean,
but she's dope.
Korean women are generally very, very loud.
Korean women?
Korean women.
Really?
Very loud.
How so?
She's like very loud. She's like, anytime I talk to one of them, like they're always screaming, like screeching.
I can only think of one that, and you know her too.
Who? Just bleep it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's loud. She's loud.
Oh yeah, she definitely.
And it's low key. I low key think I have autism sometimes, cause like my body will start shutting down when things are too loud or like too much shit is going on. So yeah, I just get annoyed very quickly, very, very quickly.
Oh man, you don't like the whole like cutesy like kawaii shit?
Nah, fuck nah.
Really?
Nah, I think that shit's so corny.
So what kind of girl would you fuck with more?
I like dominant women. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, like either dominant or at least like strong in like you can meet someone and you can kind of tell their vibe. Like I like a determined woman. I like for them to have their own shit figured out, or like just stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't like iffy girls, or like if I ask you a question about yourself and you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna leave you alone so you can do some self-discovery.
Girls who just don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know what they want. Don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's just frustrating. Yeah, that's just frustrating for sure. But in terms of like a girl that's like has her life together and like has a job and like knows, you know, like is at least pursuing something that she's like pretty interested in. Doesn't have to be her like total passion. Like I feel like that's like an absolute necessity for me personally. Mm-hmm. But in terms of the dom thing, that's kind of interesting. Do you think like dom in terms of like dom in the way that you guys interact with each other, and also like dom in the bedroom way?
Definitely dom in the bed. It's I'm like I switch off and on. Like sometimes I want to be the dom. But
yeah.
I think I gravitate more towards like I like dominant women in bed. Okay. But I wouldn't be opposed to like, you know, being the man in the relationship per se. Mm-hmm. It's like I take care of the bills. I'll make the hard decisions, whatever. And I think I've recently grown into that too. Mm-hmm. So
you know something cool. So this is something that I've noticed for me, like for a long period of time, honestly, has been progressively as I've been getting older and older in my 20s. I've noticed that this has been taking like pronounced like takeover over what my personality is. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just for my desires to do so, but as I've grown older and older, I've been like a little bit more in touch with like how I want to act in my masculine and like the masculine and feminine dynamic. And exactly something that I've noticed is like, well, one, I mean, these things are all base, the foundations, like absolutely for like for a long ass period of time. And it's only grown that I want to provide for my family. I want to like fucking, basically I want to be like sugar daddy only in the sense where I want to be able to give them all the dreams and all the trips and everything they've ever wanted.
Exactly, yeah.
I want to have I want to like give direction. I want to lead. I want to protect. All these things. But something that I've noticed that's been a little bit more like intriguing for me is recently well, not so recently, but I met someone in like the past where most of the girls that I've ever like been with in my past have all been like very submissive. There's only like a very, very few that end up being like dominant. But someone I met, like, I don't know how long ago, but basically I noticed that she tended to be dominant, especially in the bedroom, but secretly wanted to be submissive. And it made this really cool dynamic because we both like both, where it's like animals rough and tumble play.
Yeah.
Where you're like both fighting for dominance, but like a lot of women like being taken on the ride, essentially or hypothetically. So we ending up in places where being forced to be submissive, it's something that we're actually really excited about.
Yeah.
And we like feel good being in, you know what I mean? Like being forced to be taken on the ride that you technically kind of want to be taken on.
Yeah, no, that shit. Like I said, it's like I don't really truly know how to describe it, but it's like I've also recently grown into exactly what you were saying, like buying into the whole like as a man, I want to lead, I want to provide, I want to pay for everything, blah 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 blah. But it's almost like basically whatever she says goes, unless it's super wrong. Then I'm like, you're tripping, like chill the fuck out.
What do you mean by whatever she says goes?
Whatever she says goes. Like, I'm trying to think of like a scenario. It's like, you know the family dynamics where you like people look in and like the woman wears the pants.
Yeah,
that's think
my family.
Yeah,
my mom.
So it's like I want that, but more along the lines of like I'm pretty easygoing too. So it's like as long I want to be able to have full trust in her that she is able to make good decisions. And then she'll make the decision. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I'll do it. And then that's what I'm saying. Like, if she's ever tripping, then I'll be like, that does not make sense.
Yeah. Call her out for shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. That's cool.
But as of recently, like, I've taken a break from dating, sex, all that shit. I really don't talk to nobody no more.
Is there a reason why?
I think I'm just so consumed by what I feel like I need to do in terms of my own growth and career and life. The past like 2-3 years, I don't even have the energy to like one of my biggest things is I don't respond to people ever. I'm very, very bad at responding. Friends, not quite that bad with family, but and I never hit people up either. And so that doesn't really allow me the chance to ever, when it comes to dating, like build that relationship with anybody. And I'm not really looking for a relationship right now.
Right.
Like I don't have the capacity to give a relationship everything it obviously needs right now.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
I mean, that shit's fucking so much of a responsibility.
It really is.
It's crazy.
And I saw this thing on TikTok one time where they described it as like, basically, it's like, I know I want love and a relationship, but I know in searching it right now, it's only so to fill a void in my own life. Like, I'm not happy with my own life right now, so I'm looking for a girlfriend to magically come save me. Right. And that's how I've always viewed relationships until I reached I think like 22 was when it switched. Okay. Yeah. This is the first time in a very, very long time since I've been an adult that I feel okay just being single, completely single.
I appreciate you opening up about that and saying that, by the way, because honestly, most people wouldn't admit the fact that they felt like the relationship is kind of like where they coped, if that makes sense. Yeah. And like, obviously, I feel lucky to be able to say that that's not the case for me now, but definitely in the past, especially when I was a teenager, growing up and just fucking miserable in the shit that in the life that I had. Like, it was like, literally, I would just idealize like that fantasy anime Studio Ghibli like relationship. Absolutely. Where I just like feel like that is the end goal, and if I have that, I'll be happy. Yeah.
And then that turns into a very dangerous phenomenon too, where it's like you meet girls and you build them up as this idea in your head instead of like, at least for me, instead of getting to know who they like truly are. Like I'll see the good sides of them, and then the first few months, build up an idea of them in my head, and then once the bad sides of them start coming out, I'm not able to accept it and love them for it. So I think that was also a big part of why a lot of my relationships failed. And that all stems from I'm looking for somebody to come save me.
Yeah. I have a lot to say about this, especially about being like pessimistic about relationships to like not being either pessimistic or putting them on a pedestal. But before we get to that, I actually kind of like I want to ask, because I think most of my viewers probably haven't heard your story. And normally whenever I have guests on, like I at least like to watch some of their podcasts and like look into some of their stuff. And I did a little bit, but I tried literally my best not to watch your podcast with Wu Talk and Jeremy, because I just wanted to like hear this story straight from you and like make sure that I got like my genuine reactions.
Got you.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, for anyone who doesn't really know, Viet, is your last name actually Trap, or is it?
Nah, hell no. My last name's Tran.
Tran, okay. Okay.
Kids used to call me Trap back in high school because I
nice.
dealt.
That's dope. That's dope as fuck. But yeah, Viet, I actually met Viet through our buddy Wu Talk, who maybe some of you guys have seen our podcast together. He and Jeremy started the podcast Under the Influence, and then Viet and I don't remember the girl's name. Esther came on later, and Wu Talk was telling me about, honestly, he was just straight up saying how dope of a dude you are, and like how people will have like maybe the wrong perception, think like maybe he's just like a fuck boy, but then you get to know him and like he has so much more depth. And then like we hung out at that one party and he's like, bro, you guys need to have a conversation. I'm like, dude, I 100% want to. So
thank you.
Appreciate you for coming on, bro.
Oh, of course I would. I'd love to.
If you don't mind me asking, like kind of just reeling back a little bit, like how did this whole shit start? And honestly, it's a little bit of a sensitive question, but just like, what was your childhood?
So I've talked about it before, but I had a pretty shitty childhood. Basically, to make a very, very long story short, growing up, I had a very abusive dad, in the sense of he would beat me every day. I have a lot of memories of him beating my mom and my sister.
Oh, Jesus.
He also molested my little sister. And then, so what is that? Physical, sexual, emotionally. Like, I remember the first time I ever had a panic attack was because one of my friends had committed suicide in high school. And instead of letting me cry, he would call me gay and a pussy for crying about it. So that was my first panic attack. So that's emotional. What other fucking forms of abuse are there? Verbal, like I heard shit like I shouldn't have been alive. I should have fucking died in a dumpster back in Vietnam. I heard that for like the first 17 years of my life. So went through all that. Had a lot of, it shaped me into who I was for a very long time, just dealing with all that. At 17, I ran away. And was essentially homeless. I was sleeping on just like random people's floors. Like literally, like the floor I was sitting on sleeping on wasn't even my friend. It was a friend of a friend's, and I don't know what the hell they had going on. There was just people over there all the time. But I stayed there for a few months, and then because I was so young and lost and didn't know what I was doing, every time I was able to get a crib with people, I would do something stupid to fuck it up, get evicted, be homeless again, sleep on people's couches. So I did that for about 2 years, I think, before I even got any sense of stability in my living situation. And then I went to jail a lot, just like I said, doing stupid shit that I shouldn't have been doing. Was addicted to a lot of different drugs. Just trying to find an escape from whatever the hell I was going through at that time. So pretty rough story. But I take what's the word I'm looking for? I accept everything that I did and everything I went through as a lesson that I had to learn. And Yeah, and then back in I think 2020 or 2021, I was protesting during the BLM thing, uh, and I was already on probation for an assault charge. So I was basically just like an easy target, and they stuck my ass in jail. And it was a bogus ass charge, so it blew up politically. Like New York Post posted it, but it also blew up because TikTok apparently found my mugshot and they thought I was hot. Yeah, so pretty crazy way to blow up from.
Wait, so how long did you do TikTok before the mugshot came out?
I didn't have a TikTok. I used to be a TikTok hater. Like I would
Yeah.
openly talk about and joke about how like I thought TikTok was mad corny. And even
Which
for
it definitely was.
it was, yeah. Even like 2 months after I had blown up, I was only like Twitter used to be my shit. I love Twitter, or I used to love Twitter. I hate it now. But yeah, 2 months into blowing up, then I made a TikTok because I was like, it would be stupid of me not to at this point. Like within like 2 weeks, I think I was sitting at like 350,000 followers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah, so just random blow up for sure. And then just over the years, like I used to be much more open on social media in the sense of like I was much more sad back then or like angry at the world, and I would rant a lot or just like argue with people. Nowadays I don't really do that anymore just cuz like I feel like I have too many eyes on me nowadays. It's just I've kind of shied away from it for a little bit.
Real quick, guys. So while I was looking at the YouTube analytics, I actually saw that 85% of you guys that watch this channel are not subscribed. And I want to ask very little of you guys, but if you enjoy this podcast, if you find value in it, then please do me this one favor and subscribe to the channel, because doing so helps me get bigger and greater guests like the guests you are listening to today. Also, this channel is not sponsored, which means only the companies that I work with, which are Young LA and Huge Supplements, are the companies that can help fund this channel by you guys using the code NILE. So code NILE gives you a discount of 15% off of Young LA, and code NILE also gives you a discount of 10% off of Huge Supplements. And if you decide to purchase anything from any of these companies, it will help immensely for me by using my code. And this way, I can travel to other guests, such as Dr. Mike Israetel next week, and also upgrade in equipment to make this podcast bigger and better for you guys. It's a hard place to be, because in a way, I feel like we feel like we're connecting more with the people that I guess align themselves with us when we speak our opinions. Maybe that we're more seen and other people feel less alone. But the greater your audience, the more susceptible I think you just are to, honestly, just like straight up being canceled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or anything like those.
And it's like being canceled is one thing. I truthfully do not care about being. I don't believe in cancel culture, because it's like the way I see cancel culture is the internet has gone to a very weird place where everybody has a superiority complex where they think they're better than everyone, and they can sit there and talk about other people thinking that they've never done anything wrong. That's how I view cancel culture. So I'm pretty open about like what I like and what I don't like and blah 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 whatever. I'm what you would consider a brand risk. Yeah. Yeah, just in the terms of like, I don't know. I've been going through this whole journey of becoming a better human and a better man the past 2 years. So I think for a very long time I didn't post much because everything I said almost like I second guessed everything I said. Because I would say for the first 22 years of my life, I'd anger and sadness and mostly just anger and sadness. That's what fueled my every move in life. Everything I thought about, everything I said was fueled by anger and sadness. And as I grew up and I started to become a man and started to think like a man and let go of that anger and sadness, suddenly I didn't know who I was for a very long time. Yeah. So it's like I didn't want to post. Like I would literally make a video and then look at it. I'm like, do I want to put this out there? Like, is this who I am now? Because for a very long time, it felt like it was my younger version of myself still trying to speak. But it's like I don't align with those values anymore. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm getting to a good point, though, where I want to get back out there in terms of social media. I haven't posted on TikTok for I think 2 months at this point.
I've kind of undergone like a similar journey myself, where, and I know you and I discussed Shizzy like right before this podcast, and you're not like, you guys have a really similar background from what it sounds like already, and it's kind of cool to see how such an interesting background has created such like strong men that in some lucky place or lucky time, like the universe has decided to give them this power to just have a more, a greater ability to like reach their dreams or pursue whatever they want to. But honestly, for the longest time as a kid, like I had like this very pessimistic view of the world that kind of aligned with the red pill movement, where I just basically felt like I knew the reality of everything, and the reality just was never really positive. In fact, it was always negative. Things always just sucked, honestly. And to the point where, especially with like relationships, people of the opposite sex, anyone that I wanted to pursue in terms of like relationships, like I think my views almost aligned with the black pill movement, where I just thought like girls were selfish and they were just always looking out for themselves, and literally just honestly, it's hard for me to go in depth about it because, you just have these thoughts that are constantly running through your mind, especially when you're not in a good place. But I guess the view was just from growing up with like a super Asian conservative family where there's not very much empathy, right? In Asian culture, like people are, especially your parents, are just like, they either want you to be what they envision you or you're a piece of shit. Yeah. Basically. And it sucks because that doesn't give us like, I don't think that really is a very healthy breeding grounds.
No, absolutely not.
But it's just so common in Asian culture. So it wasn't until basically I moved to San Diego, and I think I underwent my own interesting set of events where I met a lot of amazing, beautiful people, was surrounded by new views about religion, spirituality, explored, honestly, just like more, sounds crazy, but honestly just explored more like drug taking and psychedelics. And then some of the best people and my best friends that were honestly the best examples and that were like huge role models that I really looked up to and I loved and I thought were the kind of men that I wanted to build myself up to be, died like before my eyes.
Oh shit.
And it's I feel like it's easy to give us this feeling where it's like why is it that like the best people in life are always the ones that are gone or get the short end of the stick?
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think I was lucky enough to experience and see just how beautiful of people they are and realize like some of these people have been through shit way worse than I have, and yet they are some of the best people on the planet. So my friend Ryan, I'm just going to say this real quickly because a lot of people have heard me say this story, but it's the most important story to me in my entire life. But basically, my best friend Ryan, he kind of reminds me of like an unfortunate Forrest Gump on steroids. But basically, like when he was 7, a bunch of his friends like stabbed him and stole from him. So the people that he thought were his friends were not. He lived in this really poor place in Louisiana. Yeah. And then when he was just a little bit older, he heard a gunshot, ran down, and he found his mom was shot and she died because she was having a fight with her boyfriend at the time. So obviously that boyfriend went to jail. Everyone just assumed the boyfriend killed the mom, but no one really understood because no one was there, right? Boyfriend didn't have anyone that could vouch for him, which is crazy because right before Ryan died, he met him.
The boyfriend?
He met the boyfriend because the boyfriend was going out of jail.
Okay.
And basically told us the experience, which is fucking mind-blowing to me. But then he had to take care of his brother and his sister because his father wasn't in the picture. And at one point, their house caught on fire, and then it also flooded because it's Louisiana. There's hurricanes all the time. And then by the time, there's a few other incidences that I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but by the time he finally left home and was just joining the military, his dad committed suicide himself. So really didn't have any family except for his siblings that he had to take care of, which unfortunately he didn't have the best relationship with. And when he was in Pacific Beach, in PB down in San Diego, he was a party animal, super social, even though he keeps going through all these misfortunate things. Like, he is like a very, very positive social guy that a lot of people love. Girls are kind of obsessed with. Was always having the funnest time. All he felt like I think one of his perceptions was like, you know, you only live for such a short time, and love is important, and the energy that you exchange with everyone else is there to stay. So might as well live in the present and like give love and stuff. And that's how he always acted. But he was out partying in PB, and then he met like these 3 girls, decided to go home with them. And I guess they were all really fucked up, and 2 of the girls left like the living room, and he was with the girl that I guess she probably considered herself maybe the fat one or the unattractive one. And being super blacked out, you know, people do really stupid things when they black out. But I guess she wasn't so happy, and she also took her phone and started banging on the ground because she couldn't unlock it, and it was actually his phone. So he was like freaking out, like, yo, give me back my phone. Fought her for the phone, and then she started screaming rape. So the girls come running in, confused, like, what the hell's going on, right? And so he jumps out the window, is basically running out of the house, hides in a bush, and feels a hand come up behind him. And being super drunk as Ryan is, freaks out, spins around, and decks the person's face. And he ends up punching in the face of a cop.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. This cop was a dick, too. But unfortunately, the cop had to undergo like facial reconstruction to the point where it's just his face wasn't the same. So this cop wanted him dead. And so, you know, Ryan was sentenced to prison for just fucking years, like years on years.
Damn.
So in jail, he met my best friend Dion, which you guys might have met at you guys threw a UTI event here in LA. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, anyways, he met my best friend Dion there. They got together. They got, I just remember they were like reading a lot of books and trying to figure out ways that they could get out, because they were both in the military. So there's certain programs you can get in, especially if you were like abused or any other situations that might be related to the military, unfortunately. So they were trying their best to take advantage of these opportunities. And then after Dion got out of jail, he went to prison. And like, Ryan's such a great guy that he did so many good things in prison as a good Samaritan. There's one crazy story where he even like somehow convinced the security guards to help him smuggle in like a giant bottle of tequila, because the Mexicans were planning to raid the whites, because one of the whites went into their territory and did something retarded or stupid. Sorry, my bad. Did something stupid. Yeah, he ended up smuggling in the bottle and created like this truce. So the fire department actually reached out to Ryan and asked him if he would work as a firefighter while he was in prison. So he did, and obviously doing so, he saved so many lives. And then one time, there was this kid who shot himself in the head trying to commit suicide and missed his brain, and so he was just suffering, just literally suffering. And so Ryan came in and saved the kid's life, called an ambulance, did whatever else he needed to. And the kid ended up being the son of the head of the police department.
Oh, shit.
So Ryan gets a call, and they're like, Ryan, you're going to be out in 6 months. And then he just falls to the ground crying. And 6 months go by. Dion picks him up, brings him to US, and then I hit a lift with him there. We all get closer and closer, become best friends, and then sooner or later we're all like roommates and rooming together for a while. And honestly, the entire time that I knew Ryan, he would do things like go out of his way to fix a friend's doorknob, literally buy the doorknob from Home Depot without the friend asking or anything, take out his time out of the day to help the person. Or he met some of his like people that he knew from prison that were homeless and stuff, and he would literally have hour-long conversations with them, go to a restaurant and buy them some food. We went to Subway once. He had a full Subway sandwich, didn't eat it, and then there was a guy that was homeless on the side of the road. He literally had like a 5-minute conversation with him or something, and then gave him the entire sandwich, which is like something really small and simple. But if I look back on my own life, I can't even tell you that I've ever done that. Yeah. Which is
that's just
a disappointment to me. So things he just did on a daily basis, and he was always the things that he would say to you, you could tell just by the way that he looked at you, the way that he heard you, the way that he felt that what you were going through, and felt through the emotions with you that this person actually cared about you. You know, and he would take all the time out of his day to do these things. One of my other buddies, Joe Aesthetics, who was like this really famous influencer, he died I think last year as well, and right before we were hanging out here in LA. I remember so many people just coming up to him, asking him for like pictures and first time for all of these things. And where I feel like most of us, and I've been in this place too, would be like looking at our clock being like, shit, I have like a call at 5 p.m. Like I'll talk for a second, but like I really don't have much time. I gotta hit this workout and then run and all these things. Joe was literally there for hours, just talking to people, giving them the time of the day. And anytime they'd ask for anything, even remotely close to advice, he would literally just tell them the entire world of all his knowledge and everything he knows and be like, no, man, you have to do this. I promise you it's going to help you, the entire time. And it just blows my mind because I knew how stressed he was about his work. I knew how much he wanted to get done. I knew how passionate he was about his dreams and like growing. And this guy took out so much time out of his day. And it's like, crazy because time is our biggest currency. So me seeing this from like some of the dopest people I know and then them passing away was a huge smack in my face to be like, dude, wake the fuck up. Like, why am I acting so... These guys experience such crazy things, but yet they looked at the world so beautifully and acted with such like pose and beauty and just like a fucking real ass selfless gentleman. So honestly, I feel lucky to have those experiences, as unfortunate as they were, because now I can walk every day waking up and being like, I want to be like them and I want to carry on their legacy.
Absolutely, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, so. I've my best friend growing up, his name was Tristan, some white boy. And literally same exact type of person that you just described those two as, just would be the first one to offer help or anything nice to do. He would be the one to do it. And he OD'd when I was on house arrest, so 2 or 3 years ago he OD'd. And I have his name tatted on my arm, just as a semblance of like, anywhere I go, like you go with me, you live through me. And I tried to be even half the man that he was. And I think it's meeting Wu Talk, meeting Jeremy, meeting a lot of, I would say that's what helped me a lot in this journey of self-improvement, is meeting people who are a good influence on me. Like, I never even, when I was younger and didn't think like a man, bringing it back to dating, I was the type to be like 50-50 for everything. Because that's, I want my woman to work, I want to work, it's a 2-income household, blah, blah, blah. And then...
Like, what are you bringing to the table? Type of...
Yeah. But nowadays, I still think like that, but instead of work, it's more like, I still want you to bring value to the table, but I want to be the breadwinner. Like, I don't want you to stress about a bill once in your life. Mm-hmm. Just stuff like that. But yeah, it was meeting all of them that changed my mind about a lot of shit. I just recently started going back to church too. So that's been a very, very big change. Believing in God again. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey the past 3 years.
If you don't mind me asking, what I guess instilled you to make this change in like your beliefs and go to church?
I don't I don't really know how to describe it, but ever since I was young, I've always been consumed with this idea of like not even being a better man, but being a better human being. And I think it stems from the love I have for my mother. Like I view my mom as like one of the best human beings I've ever had the pleasure of knowing, or that's my mom. And I would just always try to emulate that. Always try to be, soft and gentle with everybody I met and go out of my way to be nice and blah, blah, blah. So religion was, I turned my back on religion quite young, just from what I was experiencing in my home life. And my mom was Buddhist, my dad was, I was raised Catholic, but it's like I went to church every Sunday and, seeing the shit I saw at home, praying to God and feeling like I never got saved. I turned my back on religion for a few years. And I just reached a certain point in my adulthood where it was like everything religion tries to teach aligns with what I want to be. And I would keep seeing like TikTok clips of this guy named Cliff, old white guy, and he taught the Bible in a way where I really liked it, where it wasn't like condemning you or damning you, or it didn't come off as like, oh, I'm better than you, you should do this. It taught the Bible and God in a way where it's like God is eternal support and love, and no matter how much you fuck up, if you repent and you want to be better, then God will love you. And I was just tired of being lonely, to be honest. Like, I think that was a big part of it. No matter how many friends I had or anything in my life, like there was just this constant feeling of loneliness, or like the world, like I have the world on my shoulders. I have to do this, otherwise I'm a failure as a man, as a human, as a whatever. And I was just tired of dealing with that. So I think I was naturally drawn to the shit I saw about God and his everlasting love and grace. And it provided me a comfort, like it comforted me. So I think that's why I started going back to it. But it's also like, I'm not the type of Christian to like, if you don't believe in God, that's your belief. Like, it helps me. If it doesn't help you, sure. I hope one day, you find something that does, whether it be God or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just want humans to be happy, good humans.
Yeah.
And that's I think more than anything, like that's what I want for the world. Which is also why I try to fucking protest during the BLM thing. I was trying to make a change for the world. It's it's a lot of my actions in life stem from just trying to be good and nice and a good human. So that's my driving force.
I think that's anything that anyone could ask for.
Yeah.
I experienced a very similar thing. I was raised pretty hardcore Catholic, and while I acted in Catholicism, and at one point I think I really resonated strongly with the church, and I remember being in praise and worship and all these things. Obviously, this was something that I was grown up with, so it's all I knew.
Yeah.
And the way that I remember my mom pressuring me into this was a really stressful way that made me feel like there was no other way, I think.
Yeah.
But I do remember, like, I think whenever I went to praise and worship, like in high school, the way that they acted and the way that they spoke to us regarding God and Christianity and everything was in a way that actually resonated with me, rather than my mom basically saying, like, you're going to fucking go to hell,
Yeah.
So I think that was something that was very empowering for me. But a little bit after that, because of all the shit that I've been through, I also at one point just didn't believe in anything.
Yeah.
Turned away from all my beliefs. And I can tell you now, I believe in Christianity. I believe in Buddhism. I believe in Hinduism. There's a lot of philosophies and foundations in all of these that I hold true to me, such as like mindfulness is something that's very important that I want to practice on a daily basis. And when I look at all these religions and just spirituality in general, I think one thing that I feel like is super valuable for anyone to take, regardless of what they believe, is, as corny as it sounds, is honestly just love and selflessness. You know, treating someone else like yourself, like you would want to yourself if you loved yourself. Hopefully you do. And the final thing is like, this is a belief that no one really has to believe in. They don't have to believe in this human being. They don't have to believe that he exists. It's fine. It's whatever. You do you. But even speaking as if hypothetically I was not a Christian, one strong belief that I think is really powerful is the concept of Christ consciousness. Just looking at him as an example.
Yeah.
Ryan, my best friend, was as fucking funny as it sounds. Literally, like, it felt like now that he's gone and I look back on it, there's nothing else that I feel like I can compare him to and how he acted than literally just straight up Jesus, which is really weird. It's fucking weird. It's like, that sounds kind of weird to say, you know, like a modern day Jesus. It's like, that's weird as hell.
I think I understand what you mean, because when I was starting to believe in Jesus again and God, I had told my friend, like, the same way, word for word, I said, the same way you guys believe in God, like, I'm starting to understand your love for God is because the same way I love my mom, like the same way I view my mom, she's always there to love me, no matter how much I fuck up. She's always there to, she's always gonna be there to support me, always there to fucking just take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's like in you saying that your best friend Ryan, you can compare him, not compare, but like you hold him in the same regard. Your love for him is the same as Jesus. That's how I hold my mom.
Yeah. So, in regards to his actions and how he acted on a daily basis, is just reminiscent of this guy.
Yeah.
And it's just really dope to see, because it's like just an example, you know. We can believe as hard as we want to, but we can't lie that it's easier to believe in something that we see with our very eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So the fact that I've been able to have that example multiple times in my lifetime in front of my eyes, really feeling through the actual experience myself, it honestly just makes it easier to preach and talk about, I guess. I don't ever want to push any beliefs on anyone, but
Yeah.
honestly, I think just the belief that, like, I could buy the nicest car in the world, have the most money, party with fucking, I don't know, tons of girls at expensive tables or whatever, but like the shit that stays when I die is how the hell I treated somebody. You know? How I treated someone, what I left behind.
Exactly.
How I cared for the people that I love. So that's it.
Yeah. No, I'm a very, very big believer in materialistic things don't really matter. It'll make you feel nice for a little bit, but like changing someone's life in a positive way is just, it brings you a sense of gratitude and just niceness that like you cannot explain. Like being a positive influence on somebody in their life and being their safe space or taking care of them when someone else can't, like that's the shit I live for. So
if you don't mind me reeling back just a little bit, since I was a little curious, how old were you when you left home?
I ran away when I was 17.
When you're 17?
Yeah, I remember the night very vividly. Pops was yelling at me about some shit, I don't know, and then we got in a fight. That was my last straw. I just packed like a little bag. Actually, I didn't even pack a bag. I was wearing a jacket. That was it, and it was raining. It was like the beginning of summer, and I left. That was it. I left, and I knew I would never come back. And I think that day in my head, I'd stopped viewing him as like my dad. Yeah, left, went to the house that I stayed at for a little bit, and just Slept on the floor there. And as I was leaving my house, I remember walking. It was like 15 blocks away from me to where I was going. I was walking down the road. It was like midnight. Cop car pulls up to my left. Cop rolls down his windows and asks me like, what are you doing? Are you okay? Blah blah blah. And this sounds mad corny now, but like in the moment, I was just like, for the first time in a long time, I think I'm okay. And yeah, so left at 17, had to figure a lot of shit out on my own. I didn't talk to my mom or my sister for a while too. After I left, just because I was just angry. I was angry at everything, myself, my life, everything, the world. I don't know. I don't really know what else there is much to say about it.
So what was it like just jumping those houses and staying with other people? And
I was on so many drugs that, honestly, like in my childhood sense of mindset, at first I really liked it because for the first time in my life I had freedom. For the first year I ran away, I was dealing Xans and Molly. So for a year straight, every single day, I would just do Xans and Molly.
oh shit!
So there's dead
For
ass
you're
like,
straight, Molly.
pretty much, yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
And I would mix the two. So there is dead ass like a year of my life that I don't really remember.
Oh,
And it was so bad that back in Iowa, where I'm from, I would meet people going out after I was sober from that shit. I would meet people, and they would come up to me and act like they knew me, and I just simply would not be able to remember them. I was just like, I'm sorry, have we met?
Holy shit.
And like people thought I was being a douche, but it was like deadass. Like there's a year in my life I don't remember. So that was my way of coping with it. After that year of Xans and Molly, didn't really like being homeless. It was kind of annoying. Just like not ever having a place, like a firm place to sleep, or like in the winters I had to sleep in my car sometimes, and that shit was ass. It's like freezing cold, and all I had was a blanket and a car. There were some times I went to like parks or like a mall parking lot, and I would sleep, and then the security guards would come up and be like, "Yeah, you gotta get out of here." So I just had to drive off and find somewhere else to sleep for the night. Got pretty used to not being like able to eat some days. Whether it be because I didn't have money or whether it be just because I was on so many drugs that my body couldn't even give me the signals that I was hungry. So that's a pretty big change recently. Is I try to eat at least like 3 meals a day now. And it sounds crazy that I had to say like I had to try to do that, but like sometimes my body will just not tell me that I'm hungry, and I'll just forget to eat.
That makes sense. I've had a lot of really, really close friends that have been in the same place.
Yeah.
I'm sure she doesn't mind me saying this, but I've had a lot of female friends too that were like in modeling, where it's just like almost eating is almost like a hindrance.
Absolutely,
like just the fact of just like consuming it, digesting makes them feel worse. Takes away from how they feel, but then obviously it's a compounding like roller coaster effect where the less you eat, the worse they feel, the worse their hormones, the worse their mood swings.
Exactly, yeah.
The harder it is to eat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and throughout it all, I was like I said, I was very young. I didn't really know anything about life. And I was just angry like all the time. So for a lot, and I had this sense of like, I don't know if ego is the right word. I felt like I had to prove myself as a man, even though I was like 18. Like you're not a man at 18, no matter what the law says. You're just not. That's why I caught so many assault charges and like did a lot of stupid shit. I felt like I had to do what most other people wouldn't in terms of fighting and shit, to prove that like I can't hang out with you. Like I'm like, I'm trying to find the words to explain this. It also stems from like I've always been pretty small my whole life, and Asian. Growing up Asian, you're always kind of like in a predominantly either black neighborhood or white neighborhood. You're kind of looked down upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just had all that shit stemming from my childhood. So when I ran away, I would get into a lot of fights in the name of just like trying to prove myself, and then went to jail a lot. And then one of the times it just clicked, like I can do all this and I can try to prove myself as much as I want. The only person that ever came to visit me in jail was my mom. That was it. None of my friends called.
Shit.
None of my friends put money on my books. None of that shit. The only person that ever took care of me when I was in jail was my mom. And every time I went to jail, it was bringing sadness to my mom. So it's like, why the fuck am I doing this?
If you don't mind me asking, what I keep saying that, what were the reasons that you were in jail?
So when I turned 18, I caught 3 gun charges. I had a pistol on me and 2 ARs. So from that, I went straight on probation. I used both of my deferred judgments. Don't have those anymore.
Did you ever get any licenses?
No. No. Well, because I was 18. Did that. They put me on probation for that. At 18, I did not care about probation. So it's like, still going to go out. Still going to do my thing. Still party. Still sell drugs. I need to make money somehow. Did that shit. And just rack up a lot of probation violations. Whether it be possession or... I got caught driving a lot, and I didn't have my driver's license at that point because it was barred. So a barred license is if you get caught operating a motor vehicle, you go straight to jail. And you get like 8 of those, and they'll treat it like a felony. You go to like prison for like 2 years. So my license was barred up until I was like 23. So I just got it back fully last year. That was a lot of probation violations. That was a cause of a lot of probation violations. And then I'd have like 2 assault charges. I think 1 disorderly conduct somewhere in there. Yeah. But it was a lot of fighting, and it was a lot of guns. Never drugs though. Never got caught with those.
Do you happen to, this might be a weird question, but do you happen to remember like what enticed some of these fights?
One of the guys was, so I had a girlfriend when I met her at, I think 17, started dating when I was 18. And she was like, back then she was like the love of my life. And I want to sit here and say she was a horrible person, but as I've grown and matured, I just realized that she was just extremely young, and I was extremely young, and we both fucked up. But regardless, I was deeply in love with her. She cheated on me with this one guy. Fucked him in her bed. The next day, I came to pick her up because like her dad was calling me like, "Where's blah blah blah? Like, have you seen her?" I'm like, "I don't know where she is." I'll go pick her up at her mom's house. Went to pick her up. Her and the guy and like some other friends had been over the night before. He walked out, shook my hand, looked me in my eyes, and shook my hand right after fucking my girl. And yeah, once I found that out, like a few days later,
How'd you find it out?
Logged into her Snapchat, and he had sent her videos of them fucking and her sucking his.
Oh fuck, bro.
Yeah, pretty rough with it. Nah, it was terrible. So basically, when I seen that shit, I just DM'd him, and I told him like, next time I see you, like I'm gonna kill you, and that's what I tried to do. So I almost did 10 years for that. I saw him at a party, and then took a wine bottle and just like smashed his head in.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy
And the dude was
shit.
like 6'2", like think of your average like Iowa popular football captain guy. 6'2", fucking just built. And I'm still pretty small. And I looked at him, I'm like, I'm not gonna fight you hand to hand. Like I know I'm not gonna win, but I want to bring harm to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I took the wine bottle, I smashed his head in, and I was looking at 10 years for that. And then it just so happened that he's just a terrible guy, so he got like 2 DUIs and like I think like a rape charge or something.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So I think the judge like gave me leniency and did like she gave me 2 years of probation. So I was doing that.
Wow.
And then while I was on probation for that, I started protesting during the whole
Holy
thing.
shit.
Yeah.
Did this guy get those charges after the one?
I don't know if he got charged for rape, but it was like a very well-known thing that he was a rapist.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is fucked. Serves him right.
And then I forgot what the fucking other assault was. I think I was literally on Xans and I just fought someone. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. How the fuck do you fight someone on Xans?
Not well.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, not well. But yeah, there's a lot of shit from those. I like to call those like the lost years because it's like there's a lot of shit. Either my mind has blacked out or because I was on drugs, I don't really remember. Yeah, and then at a certain point, I stopped leaving my house as much, and that's when I found perks, like perk 30s. Got very, very addicted to those, to the point where it's I wouldn't even like the real perks. I would try to find the fake ones that had fentanyl in them.
Oh no way!
They would hit harder. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
And I did that for I would say about a year and a half, and I mean, I'll be candid about it. I was so far gone that I was like literally smoking them off of like tinfoil. I did that once or twice. I didn't do it much, but like that's how far gone I was in my addiction. And yeah, did that for about a year and a half, and then I OD'd March of 2022, and woke up in the ambulance. And I remember waking up, and at that current stage of my life, I was disappointed that I had woken up. I was like, fuck, like I wish I'd just gone.
Yeah.
And but no, thank God I didn't. But yeah, ever since then I'd quit that shit cold turkey. I haven't touched one since. And haven't been to jail in like 3+ years.
That's the scary thing is like you never know where you're gonna be later, but like in the moment when you just want to fucking die and you don't want to be alive, that's all you want. And like being alive just feels like it's gonna go on forever. It's like every day that passes, it's just like, what's the point of me being here? Why should I stay? So it sucks because you can't really tell anyone that is ready to commit suicide. You just can't. Yeah. Honestly.
I mean, when like during all those like, I can't tell you the amount of people older than me who told me like, just stick it out or like things get better, I promise. And every time I would look at them, almost with spite in my eyes, like you don't know what the fuck I've been through or what I'm going through, or like how dare you say that to me? Like shit's not gonna work out. And yeah, no. So it's like,
I feel like there's a difference between like saying it to someone like, hey dude, things are gonna be okay, you'll be fine, versus being there and actually being a friend that helps the person live, if that makes sense. Like even literally just hanging out with your friend, spending time together, having fucking high talks together,
absolutely,
getting food, going to a party together or something, just fucking anything, dude. Just doing something with someone.
I say all the time, my the biggest thing that has ever helped my depression was the relationships I have in my life, like just platonic friendships, but it's like real genuine love. And that's whenever I feel down or whenever I get in my little moods or my depression spikes up, like that's the only thing that really ever changes it or helps me in that moment.
One of my close friends, Bosch, who his username, his Instagram account name is a large Bosch. He was on my podcast. He was part of the Young LA team. So, but he after his brother died, he was like in this place where there's so many recurring events that just made him feel like there was just no point in being around anymore. And I don't remember if he was about to jump, but he was about to commit suicide. And somehow, like right before he was, I think maybe he might have mentioned it to a friend, and then in a last little cry for help, like from inside.
Yeah.
And his best friend was just like straight up. He was like, dude, please don't, like, I love you, bro. Obviously there's so much more out there for us. And let's like go hang out and get this, like go get a meal and get some food. I don't remember what it was, just hang out and talk, just chill for a little bit. But honestly, just taking the time out of his day to step forward and be like, hey man, let's just hang out, do all of this, was literally like the one thing that Baj needed, just not to
Absolutely
go through with it. So
I saw this thing years ago that has always stuck with me, and it was like a tweet where somebody said, like, my therapist said, a lot of people don't want to truly die, they just want the pain to stop.
yeah,
So
right.
yeah.
That
And
is,
it's I struggled for a very long time. My friend Tristan, he when he overdosed, he was going through some pretty rough shit, and that was when I was on house arrest, and I was so depressed that I just shut out the whole world. Like I didn't talk to anybody, and he would like try to call me and hang out, and just try to talk, and because I wasn't there mentally, I just always, like, I never saw him. And when I got the call that he had passed, for a very long time I blamed myself for his death, because I wasn't there as a friend and as a brother. And yeah, that's something that took a lot of inner work and forgiving to move on from that. And nowadays I try to, even if I'm super depressed, if somebody hits me up, somebody I care about, or anybody, if they try to hit me up and it's a cry for help, I try to be there.
before Ryan passed away, there was this moment where I was blowing up on social media. I was like posting these reels on Instagram and TikTok, and it was just like compounding off each other, and it was super cool to see, because I was like getting hundreds of thousands of followers within like a month each.
Yeah.
And obviously this is amazing, because like then you see your engagement is super high through the roof. It's like hundreds of thousands of likes. You're getting all these like incoming deals. Like your money is rising. And man, I just got so fucking absorbed in this. Like I got so absorbed in the thought of growth, whether it was related to fame or not. Just the thought of how I could actually finally have money, and I wouldn't have to be like fucking going through the trenches. Like I worked as an engineer for a while, but then before getting my master's, I dropped out, and I just realized like I kind of hate this.
Yeah.
Like I do not want to do this. I'll do anything but this. And I love fitness. I love bodybuilding. I'll do anything to make this a thing. So while I was trying to build up my social media during the time, I literally had no money, and I had to do such fucking shitty, sketchy jobs, man. Luckily I didn't have to. This is the first time I've ever said this ever publicly, but like there was one time where I was like selling, like, I don't think it's gonna put me on. I was like selling fucking just like I was selling like fucking like just ounces of ketamine and ounces of GHB, and just doing whatever I could just to like stay afloat.
Yeah.
Honestly, which was a really terrible place at the time. And I remember, now that I was growing and having all of this just come into my lap, I was thinking like I literally can't let off 1 second off the gas pedal. I need to keep going as hard as possible.
Yep.
So during this entire period of time, while my roommates would always like be having fun, talking downstairs, like in the living room, hanging out, like yelling, Niall, come down here, whatever, let's hang out, or let's go to this event, or let's go like smoke some weed, or just like, I don't know, get some food or something, or anything, I would just straight up like say no and lock the door. And I would just be in my room on my computer editing, just being obsessed. And this happened for a long period of time, to the point where it affected my relationship at the time too. Like my ex was not getting the things that she felt like she needed in a relationship, and I wasn't connecting with any of my friends. I was kind of just like, literally my mind was so absorbed in like my growth and just staying afloat and making money. And then Ryan passed away. And then same thing with my other best friend, Nick. While I was getting to know him, he actually slept with this girl that I slept with previously. So when I first met him, I was just like, who the fuck is this pretty boy? Fucking hate this guy. Yeah. And every time he would treat me with such like genuinity and like such love, I'd be like, you're fucking two-faced in my head. I'd just be like, what the fuck is this kid? But he would constantly treat me like that. And I realized he would treat my friends like that too. And one of my best girlfriends like ended up getting to know him, and he treated her with like such grace and like actually genuinely getting to know her. And I'd be like, bro, you just want to fuck all my friends, huh? I hated him for the longest time, even though he would treat me so nicely.
Yeah.
And I think over time, I just realized, like, why do I keep holding these ridiculous grudges with the thoughts in my mind, these dirty, dark thoughts in my mind? Like, this isn't serving me. I'm not happy thinking these things. Like, I feel like shit. And then we ended up just, like, going to more events together. And I think maybe I was, like, on a microdose of shrooms or whatever. But I think being in the place with him kind of just opened my mind. And, like, I had fun. We had fun together so many times, until it just progressively still grew and grew and grew until we got really close. And like, he would always ask like the deepest questions to people, like right off the bat. And it would always shock me, because I'm like, I have never heard anyone like break through small talk that fast. It's insane, with like immense eye contact, where it's like there is no other way to fucking absorb this other than like, this guy fucking cares.
Yeah.
So after like a year, a little bit more, maybe a couple, I don't even remember how long, we just got really, really close, to the point where we were like doing the craziest things, going to Splash House, just playing, doing the stupidest, craziest shit. Which I wish I could talk about, but yeah, I just realized like, man, this guy really treats me like a good ass person. And then the next week after Splash House, I got a call. My friends told me about an incident that happened. He was sent to the hospital, and then we realized like the hospital couldn't do anything, so he died too.
Damn.
So these, like, it's really weird, but man, did I fucking like realize like, fuck all this, like, just fucking this obsession and drive for power and fame and money. This like resentment towards other people, like the ego that I like uphold, like just none of this shit fucking matters, man. The shit that matters is just like the people around me, like my community, Absolutely. My family. That's all that fucking matters.
When did you come to that realization? How long ago?
I think it slowly, continuously kept building up. And I think I'm lucky enough that like I didn't always have the best people that I was surrounded by. And when I was a kid, I had 0 friends just because I wasn't allowed to do anything. So
same.
Yeah, suppressive Asian parents.
Bro, right? Like, people thought I was crazy for saying this shit, but it's like, jail never bothered me because it literally felt like exactly what my childhood felt like. Like, I could not leave that place. You eat at a specific time, you talk to the same people, blah, blah, blah. It felt like my childhood. So jail, for how crazy my life was at the time and how much turmoil my life had, jail introduced some structure back to my life. So every time I went to jail, I kind of liked it.
Damn.
And it's anytime I've said that online, people will take it out of context and be like, this guy's trying to act tough, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, shut up.
People don't always get it. Yeah. They really don't. I think people really do love to, like, they don't love to do it. It's just easy. It's like the default mind. You don't really think about other people's experiences. Empathizing isn't even easy off the bat for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not easy in real life.
It requires like a level of consciousness and mindfulness. So, I mean, same thing, like the moment they see something, they're probably just projecting from their own life, right?
Exactly.
Like, I had an easier life. So I feel that wholeheartedly. Luckily, I haven't been to prison. I haven't been to jail. But damn, dude, For sure. As weird as it is, I'm sure there's a lot of Asian kids that can relate to us. But man, I just wanted to. I fucking hate saying this now. Honestly, for some reason it's hard for me to say things like this. But maybe because I really I think I want to mend my relationship with my family and my parents, and my relationship with my dad has slowly changed.
In what way?
So the way that your dad was in your relationship, I think is a little bit more like how my mom might have been in my family.
Okay.
And my dad was probably only around for half of my life because he was traveling for work
Gotcha.
a lot. But my dad has finally said that he was proud of me a few years ago. And I think that just struck a chord in me. And I think, I don't know, something because just I don't know, the reason he said those words, I can't explain it. I think I'm still processing to this day, but it makes me feel a little different about how I want to act.
Absolutely.
I think it's hard for me to talk about these sometimes, but basically, I just I was just really suicidal. I just never wanted to be alive for all of childhood. Honestly, I would rather sometimes be dead than stuck in that place.
Yeah.
But figuring out how to hack into the computer so I could watch anime and play RuneScape while they were asleep was the best thing ever, dude.
Yeah.
That shit kept me going, bro. Shit was fire.
Dude, I would use we had one family laptop, and whenever they were at work, I would just play fucking, it was RuneScape, Adventure Quest World, fucking whatever, right? Watch anime, and then when I knew they would be home, my dad would be home at a certain time, I would just go delete all the history, put it back exactly where it was, how it was, and then fucking turn it off 30 minutes before so it wasn't hot. I did that for years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
No, I feel it. I understand.
Dude, kids are smart, man. We'll get around shit for sure. Yeah, so I mean, I really don't I don't get it, but I think it's not so crazy that you say that about prison.
Yeah.
So, or jail. If you feel like any of the medications that we spoke about today may benefit you, such as BPC 157, GH secretagogues such as Tesamorelin, IGF-1, oxandrolone troche, Semaglutide, then you can obtain these from Transcend HRT, and the link for that will be in the bio. If you feel like you're experiencing symptoms of low testosterone, such as depression, anxiety, lack of motivation, as well as lack of sex drive, then you can get this checked out as well by getting your blood work done at Transcend, and they will provide you expert medical analysis. Transcend HRT has worked with many professional bodybuilders and pro athletes, such as Thor Bjornsson, Phil Heath, and Jeremy Buendia. And if you feel like this podcast has any relevancy to you, I do believe that this clinic will provide of great benefit to you as well. I feel a lot closer now than I ever have to being a good father, and to wanting kids. Yeah, closer for sure than I've ever had. And I'm pretty sure I'm quite a bit older than you, I think. How old are you?
I turn 25 next month.
Next month? Oh shit, bro. Happy birthday. Wait. What's the day?
May 27th.
May 27th. All right. Everybody wish Viet happy birthday on May 27th.
Yeah, about a month.
Yeah. I don't know why. For some reason, as I grew through my mid 20s and then got into my later 20s, everything shifted so quickly.
Nah,
it's kind of crazy though.
Yeah.
It's
even in a year, bro. If you had seen my shit or seen who I was as a person a year ago, it's crazy how much I've changed. So it's and if you think about it, each year you go through life, think about how much you've changed. So I think at some point, if I handle myself correctly and learn the lessons I need to learn and do the inner work and the shadow work I need to do, I think at some point in my life, I will be good enough to be able to be a father.
I'm sure you will, bro.
I don't think right now I am.
I mean, honestly, just having this talk with you, just getting to know you right now, I feel obviously, maybe if not, now's not the time, but you're definitely going to be a good father, dude.
Yeah, I hope so.
But I guess right now I've just been so self-conscious about I really want to be a good father, and I can think of all the things I want to do for my kid, and I want to be there. But one of the things that I really want to do is be there for them.
Yeah.
Just to be there for them. And that's the thing that I've been thinking about is I hope that they just wouldn't hate us if we're not able to be around all the time to hopefully like, I guess not hate us for that. I guess that's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah.
It's like if we're not able to be present all the time or be there for them all the time, like is that something they're going to take resentment against us? I guess I would just hope that they understand.
Honestly, bro, speaking
on the
from
situation.
if you think of us as kids, like there's a lot of shit I used to resent or resent my parents for. Speaking of my mom, I just hate my dad, and that will never change. But there was a lot of stupid shit I resented my mom for that as I grew and got older and understood things more clearly. I was like, no, I would literally call her and be like, I'm so sorry that, I was mad about this or I said this or whatever. I acted like this because that shit is so fucking childish. And I never understood it until I started thinking like a man instead of like a little boy. So, I mean, if you can't be there all the time, if that does leave scars, then I think that's something you guys got to work out in the future.
Yeah. What do you think your attachment style is?
I'm not sure of all of them, but I think mine is like anxious avoidant, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it's also weird because it's like when I'm single, I don't talk to anyone. I would say that's the biggest thing is like I dead ass like the some of the prettiest girls have hit me up, dude. Like girls I used to fucking dream about. And as of recently, for the past like 3 years, I have no interest. So I think that's where it's avoiding it. But I remember when I was in relationships, I would just be very overbearing, stemming from insecurity. I was always the type to be like, "Where you at? Like, what are you doing? Why are you here? Blah blah blah."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really too sure, to be honest. And I haven't dated in 3-4 years, so I'm curious to see if like any of that shit changed.
Dated as in like been in like a committed relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been single for 3 years, I think, at this
3
point.
years.
Yeah. And it's like in the 2 relationships I was in, I like safe to say I was a little boy. I would not consider myself a man in either of those.
Mm-hmm.
So now that how different I am now, I wonder if I would handle things the same way or not.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think I would, but I'm curious to see if I'm still anxious about where they are, blah blah blah, or whatever.
What do you say you were a little boy? Is it just because of the whole like anxious, like always wanting to know
that and like it's a multitude of things. How I communicated, how I fucking took care of their feelings. I didn't. I didn't have the tools or the knowledge on how to. Yeah, just that, like always asking where they are, blah blah blah. And that stemmed more from like my first relationship after she cheated. I was never like that until I got cheated on.
which
So-
I mean, it makes all the sense,
Yeah,
Like,
but it's like when I hopped
totally
into my second relationship, I don't think I had fully healed from my first one. So there's a lot of that trauma that I brought onto the second relationship,
Yep.
and then that's when I was like, "Where are you at? What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. Yeah, how we argued. I would always. I never had a healthy way to express my anger or my if I wasn't okay with something. Blah blah blah. It would just always resort to me like yelling. Coincidentally though, I never laid hands on them, and both of them laid hands on me. So, yeah, don't.
yo, I feel that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. I still think it's crazy that shit can happen right now, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's like,
no hate to girls, but it fucking sucks being on the other end where you're like a man and you're like, as a man, you will not be physical, but they
yeah.
not only can they be physical to you more often than they should be able to, but like, man, like the emotional and like the manipulation,
Yep.
mind games, and like how they fucking hurt you where it hurts the most is fucking crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, a lot of that shit, and it's just like I literally didn't buy into the whole like, as a man, like I want to pay for everything. I would always like split costs with them about shit. So
Gotcha.
just like both of those relationships, I don't think I was a man. at all. And I was young. I was like 21 in the second one and 18 in the first one. So I didn't consider myself to be a man until probably last year, to be honest.
What was it about last year?
I'm not gonna lie. I did so much Molly at Coachella that I think it rewired my brain.
Oh shit!
I'm dead ass.
Probably.
It's that, along with the fact of like I said, I have very, very good influences in my life now, and I have very good friends. And I just remember a moment where we were at Coachella. I was rolling fucking face, and I looked up and I looked around at everybody I was around, and I just felt safe for the, like, honestly, probably the first time in my life.
Fuck.
Yeah, and that just started this whole fucking journey of like, I don't like who I am or like the bad habits I have, and I'm gonna put the work in to try to fix them so that I can come out of this a better man and be the man that I want to be. So yeah, Molly.
And you said you were like 23, 24, 23 when that happened?
At that point, I was 20. I think I was 23. Yeah.
23.
Yeah.
I think that happened for me when I was like 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in San Diego, fucking at some kind of rave. I don't know if it was LED or whatever, but I was with a bunch of people I was close to, and man, I rolled tits. Rolled tits when I was 22, 23,
Yeah.
24, 25. But fuck, man, like that place really did, like I feel everything you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the feeling of feeling like safe with the people you're around, especially if it's people that you truly care about, like people that like see what you're going through. And,
Exactly.
like, you can feel everything down to how you connect, especially when you're rolling. And it's like the most beautiful feeling I think I've ever felt in the planet.
Absolutely.
And I was just like, I don't want this feeling to ever end. And even though like, yeah, maybe it was also induced by like being intoxicated on MDMA, but like I find like this is like a feeling that we can like bring back just by being with the people that we love.
Absolutely. It was almost like, if I could like describe it in any way, it was almost like I was walking through life with literally like a brick wall around my heart. I did not let anybody in. I did not let my guard down. None of that shit. And as much as I loved them, I remember anytime conversations got deep or whatever, my ears used to get hot, like blood would rush to my brain or whatever, and I would just get overwhelmed and I would shut down. Like, so when I was on Molly, it was almost like the Molly allowed like a fist to punch through that fucking brick wall, and I just let all my guard down in that moment. Because it was like, bro, I was rolling face to the point where I couldn't even walk. And two of my homies took the time and the effort to just take care of me the whole night. And that's when I was like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's when I was able to just like let down those walls and truly experience love.
Even though it's so fucking corny, because it definitely is though. Like, honestly, that's why like most people who aren't in it don't understand it. But rave culture can be so sick.
Yeah.
It's just,
Dude, yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. I used to think raves were so corny because I'm from Iowa. We didn't have raves.
right.
Iowa had fucking like cornfield parties and shit. And yeah,
Cornfield parties.
Yeah, whenever I saw anything about raves or whatever, I'm like, this shit is so fucking corny. And then I didn't go to raves, but like when I went to festivals and shit, right? And I saw the rave culture. Even Coachella this year.
Yeah.
I met some people out there, and dude lifted me up on his shoulders and just gave me a shoulder ride and did this fucking weird like thigh rolling thing that when I was rolling felt amazing. And it was just like you could feel the amount of love they were trying to pour out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what rave culture is.
Yeah.
Other than, people stealing phones and fucking
It's for real. It's like that. Just, I think that's some beautiful thing about it. Like I'm such a advocate for this growth in psychotherapy.
Yep.
MDMA. My friend Dion is just he's now getting like ketamine therapy treatment, and man, they like inject him with like fucking they injected him like what? How much? Like 100 milligrams last time, and he just went into fucking space.
Really?
So bigger than any like recreational K-bump or like line that you could ever take.
Yeah.
It's just you fucking blast them in
Damn.
this face. But honestly, all these things are just super dope because I think it, in some way or another, somehow, in the right settings, like these therapies, like I think bring us to understand like unconditional love, how much of a power it has, which is fucking hard because especially when you're sober and you feel like shit, like what kind of unconditional love can you give? Sometimes you don't want to give love to someone, especially someone that hurts you.
Yep.
Right. But there's just some kind of special power in it where it's like if I'm feeling it from someone, like God, there's no better feeling.
Absolutely.
Like I can't even express the amount of kindness and appreciation I have for that person or whoever is sharing that. So, yeah, something I want to continue. I think that's that I didn't even mention it, but when I was mentioning Christ consciousness, it was unconditional love. That was like the foundation on that, right?
Absolutely.
Literally loving everybody from, I guess he like took care of prostitutes and addicts and all sorts of people. So
that's a practice I try to work into my life now. It's like whereas I used to be very defensive, whenever haters would say something or anybody against me, I used to live by this mentality of it wasn't an eye for an eye. I used to believe in like, you take my eye, I'm gonna try to take your life. I always had to do more than whatever you did to me. But nowadays it's just like, you did what you did to me. I'm gonna pray for you that you get some semblance of happiness in your life or love in your life to the point that you don't go around spewing hatred or misdeeds or whatever you did. So that's how I try to be nowadays.
Oh yeah, that's powerful. How do you feel like I guess maybe your dynamic around relationships are, and how like you feel, I guess, around relationships now that it's been years since you've been cheated on? I feel like that's something like super sensitive that I just brought up, but
No, you're good. That's the thing is like I don't even know how to feel anymore because I haven't had anything like that in so long. It's almost like I know how I used to feel. It's like when I was young, I looked at relationships as something to save me. Like I was almost like a fucking Cinderella princess in a fucking castle. That's who I was. And I was waiting for the right girl to come save me, and suddenly I'll be this man. As long as I had her support, like I could achieve this or achieve that. And that's how I always viewed it. And then nowadays it's like I'm just so obsessed with becoming the man that I want to be, and then that's when I feel like I'll be ready to have a relationship.
yeah,
Right? My whole life there's always been this little voice in my head that kind of tells me like you're not good enough. And sometimes it's in a bad way or sometimes it's in a good way, but regardless the voice is there. And yeah, so I think that's what one of my driving forces in life is I'm extremely obsessed with being a better brother, a better son, a better human. I literally just ranted and posted this on my story today, actually, just because I was thinking about it. But yeah, that's where my life is right now. And I think when I'm ready, I will be open to a relationship, and then that will be the most beautiful thing in this life because of how much I care about love and blah, blah, blah. Once you find the right partner, I think it's like the most important thing in life. Yeah. That's the best way I can describe how I view relationships. Just the hard part is finding that right life partner, especially in today's world.
it's so hard.
Yeah, it's
so hard.
There's so many nuances to how a man should act and how a woman should act, and it creates divide, and there's just so much when it comes to dating now.
Yeah.
But I mean, my corny ass still believes in soulmates.
I do too.
Yeah, it's soulmates plus you gotta put work in to make the relationship work.
Right.
You gotta have the IQ, the emotional intelligence to fucking know how to navigate.
This is purely my perception. Obviously, it not necessarily true. But I feel like relationships is a weird place where I feel like I've experienced it all. Being in monogamous relationships, essentially being cheated on, not feeling seen, looked at as the ugly, really, really overweight, fat Asian kid in a predominantly white area like Texas where everyone's racist. Just like just the worst, dude. And then I was in a relationship, my last relationship, which was 4 years, and 2 to 3 years of it was an open relationship container, which I'm telling you right now, man, I feel like we're very alike. I don't know if it's like Asian culture, what we were up, brought up on or whatever brought up by, but like, at least for me, I don't know about you when you were a kid, but I was like a really jealous kid. I was always like, I feel like I just,
Jealous in what sense?
like I wouldn't act around things, but I felt it. Like it really hurt. Like it fucking hurt.
When it came to girls or when it came to like just anything in life?
I think maybe when it came to girls. So like, I guess it depended on how much I cared about them, of course. Like if it was someone like I had a crush on, or maybe I thought like was something, maybe I just had the emotions of a simp. But fucking, where am I even going with this? I guess what I've realized is I know that you haven't been in the relationship container to like experience what it's like again since you've gone through those experiences, and I don't know, man. I just feel like I don't feel like there's very much worse than, I mean, actually people can argue this. I don't want to say something that's gonna tick people off because maybe like abuse is also there, but just being cheated on in like a relationship is just,
I'm not gonna lie, being cheated on hurt more than being abused all my life. I cried more when I got cheated on.
it's like this I feel like if you're abused, but if you've been abused since the beginning of like a relationship, in a way it's something that maybe, as painful as it is, you're used to, right? But in most cases, cheating is like such a breach of the most precious trust that you have, right? In a fucking relationship, dude, the person you're closest to. So, I mean, when the person that you're closest to breaks everything that you thought was, it's literally your reality breaking before your eyes.
That's the perfect way to describe it, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think I underwent this open relationship just so I could like try to put myself in like the most uncomfortable place I've been through to like learn from it and grow from it. And I can tell you it definitely worked. But to this day, from the encounters and the relationships that I've had since then, in the last 3 years of me being single, my actions differ and how I treat women is completely different. And I'm proud of who I am now and how I act around the people I care about, or the women that I've loved or dated, whatever. But the feelings aren't really different. It still hurts when certain things happens. Like I still like feel like sometimes, like I don't know. It's hard for me to explain this right now because it's stuff that I'm still processing. I think to this day, but like, I think even though I was in an open relationship, right, which is crazy, like to even think of like, how could I let the person I love, that I want to be with, that I want to marry, fuck another dude? That sounds fucking crazy, and it doesn't get me off, not even close. I cried every single time it happened. I'm gonna be straight up. Yeah, I literally cried every single time it happened. I can like go through the most physical abuse or pain or whatever and not shed a single tear. But when it comes to the like my fucking queen, like my love, like that shit, it's always going to hurt.
Absolutely.
And to this day, it still hurts the same amount. So that's something that I feel, it's like, I wish that we could get stronger and make like grow some kind of like steel around it. And I think maybe it doesn't break us as much, but I think more so, at least in my place, I found that my actions have changed around it. I've been able to act more with like a level of mindfulness and consciousness in the man that I want to be. But in terms of how it feels and how much it hurts, it doesn't fucking change.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's kind of it's like a bittersweet thing that I've been thinking about recently. I kind of just wanted to spill.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of my biggest fears still to this day is what if I invest that time and that energy and fall in love again and get cheated on? Yeah. It's one of my biggest fears. I think that also plays a part into why I've been single for so long too.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, especially with like a little bit of clout. Like I don't consider myself famous at all, But just the shit I've seen, whether it being out in LA or like I've had married women DM me, and I'm just like
Married.
yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Like, I would go to their profiles and see pictures of them and their husband. I'm just like, man, like y'all make me not want to date.
What are the kind of things they say?
It's always just something sexual.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
From married women.
Yeah. It used to be really bad when or it used to happen a lot more when I first blew up. But I don't really try to market myself as a little sex symbol anymore.
I try to hope that like these are, I mean, I think most people wouldn't, most husbands, most whatever wouldn't like this anyways, but I try to hope that this is just like their flirtatious personality sometimes. Like I've definitely met like older women, especially maybe married or whatever, that like will flirt in the weirdest, like most sexual ways with guys younger than them or with us. And I don't know. It's hard. It's kind of like hard. I don't know what it makes me feel because I feel like I've seen moms before in the past like do that with younger boys. I feel like it's a thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Where there's like moms that'll like, I don't know, talk to the pool boy or something, or like deal with strippers. I don't know. But anyways, I just hope that it's like a personality thing or something. Like like they wouldn't actually act on anything. It's like
even then, I don't want my wife. Like I don't want that personality. I don't know.
It's just stressful as fuck.
Dating is scary. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it is.
I think as of right now, I'm still quite scared of dating.
It's like especially scary here in LA. Just I mean, everyone says this all the time, and I've been like contemplating this, whether or not this is the truth or not. But to a degree, the fact that like it at least feels like we have so many options is fact.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the more people you know.
Oh, even take yourself out of LA. Like think about social media.
Yeah, just be on social media. Yeah. Right.
When social media got big, that's when the dating pool got fucked.
I think that's definitely true, but I think some people who like realize like where they live and like what the abilities are for them to like strive out, it kind of like keeps them understanding like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I'm saying, dude,
so
I agree. LA, like dating in LA is bad. But I'm just saying social media is also a very big factor in that too.
Yeah,
the options thing.
Yeah, for sure. It really psychologically fucks people. Mm-hmm. There's,
I'll be honest, it fucks me too. One constant thought whenever I start talking to a girl is no matter how bad she is, immediately my mind goes into this mode where it's like, all right, well, I bagged you, I can probably do better, and I would just lose interest. That's actually why I went abstinent.
Wait, like whenever a girl would just sleep with you, period, or like sleep with you too soon or something?
No, just sleep with me, period. Or like, even if I was talking to her and she was like trying to get to know me, in my head, because I don't really care about sex that much. I never have. It was more about the ego validation of like, can I pull you or not?
Yeah.
So, like I said, that's why I went abstinent for a very long, because I recognized it as a quite harmful pattern, and I realized that if I kept doing this, like I was never gonna ever probably fall in love again or find a girlfriend or find someone I cared about. But yeah, when I first moved to LA, like I was going out to the clubs every weekend, making out with fucking random hot bitch every weekend, and did that enough times to where I was like, yeah, this is just me feeding my ego. Like that's all it was ego. It was ego driven, and once I realized that, that's when I went abstinent, and just that helped a lot.
How long was that for?
The first time was I think like 6 months, and then I felt like I was at a healthy place, to hook up with someone where it wouldn't like fucking leave me completely empty inside after. So hooked up with a girl that I had been talking to for a little bit, and then went back on it. And nowadays it's like I'm not abstinent per se. It's not like I'm truly abstaining from sex. It's just I don't really chase it.
Yeah, gotcha.
If it happens and I'm down for it, then maybe sure.
Bro, 6 months is a long ass time.
Yeah, it went by pretty quickly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I'm so focused on other things right now. I don't, and like I said, I've never been one for like one night stands or whatever. I believe in soul ties. So yeah,
Same.
as of right now, I've had sex in like I think like a month and a half.
You know what? Recently, I saw this reel pop up on Instagram, and I realized that it was true. And it said, "Do you know that the average person sleeps with 8 people?" And then the next line was like, "I found out today that I'm a fucking whore."
I believe it,
That's
but it's also you gotta factor like age and a lot of shit into it.
Asian.
Not age.
Oh, age. I thought you said Asian. I was like, what?
Nah. Well, honestly, if you want to, yeah. Like, I feel like a lot of Asian men grow up doing exactly that. Like, trying to pull bitches because growing up, you, like, as an Asian guy, you could not pull bitches.
Right. It was like fucking... I can't believe it was like fucking a big deal if you're an Asian and you're like pulling a white
Exactly.
chick.
Yeah. So it's like...
But that's literally all
once
I lived
again, ego.
around, so it was the hardest thing in the world. Shit. Let's ask these questions.
Let's go. Man, pistachios are so hard to fucking crack sometimes.
I'm impressed you're able to eat that right now.
I haven't ate anything all day.
Damn, bro.
I gotta go to boxing at like 8. So I'm gonna grab something to eat very quickly after this.
Honestly, dude, you should definitely just, when you get into MMA again, you should just shave your head.
I'm going tonight. I already got back into it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I so badly want to.
Oh, that you wanted to do it before this? Bro, that'd be crazy.
No.
You would look fucking, I mean, not that you don't already look hardcore, but that shit would be crazy. Anais asks, was this look inspired by Jeremy? If you know, you know.
What look?
I don't know.
You talking about my hair?
Maybe she's talking about the picture.
What picture?
The picture posted on Instagram stories.
Oh, my fucking eyeshadow. No, it's because we just interviewed Johnny Gilbert last night. It's like some emo guy that's blowing the fuck up right now.
Oh, you guys all wore eyeshadow for it? That's fucking sick.
I could not get that. I think it's still on.
You can get it off, huh?
Yeah.
You guys tried to use makeup wipes and it didn't work.
I didn't do it. I just scrubbed my face for like.
That's why.
I didn't have no makeup wipes or anything in my house.
Tally Love asks, what is Viet's biggest dream to accomplish?
My dream would be, honestly, to retire my mom and my sister. I think that's my biggest dream. Just get to a point where I can provide for them, where they never have to work again. Or if they work, it's very minimal, and it's more out of passion than survival. But yeah, that's a dream. But it's also my long-term goal. Other long-term goals are to get better at soccer and MMA, to get bigger in terms of the gym. It's the first time in my life that I've started going to the gym and like caring about my body and my health. So that's pretty new. Short-term goals, I would say to start my own solo project. Start and be consistent, because I've started, but I'm not consistent. So whether that be streaming on Twitch by myself or starting a solo YouTube channel, doing what I want to do, I think that's my short-term goal for this year. And then, yeah, as the years change, like my goals change. But I think one thing that doesn't change is exactly what I said my dream was. Mm-hmm. That's a driving force behind a lot of shit I do.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I like what you said about your mom and your sister.
Yeah. It's like there's literally nothing else in this life I care about other than like being the best human being I can be and taking care of my loved ones. That's what I realized quite young is like there's so much bullshit in life. Like you just gotta narrow it down to what you truly want. And that's what I truly want. So back then I was like, oh, I want to model. I want to fucking walk a runway. I want to do this. I want to do that. I was like, I don't really care about none of that shit anymore.
I just wanted to look good and get girls and be handsome and jacked and shit. And now my hair's thinning out and I just wear hats and I get fat and I don't give a fuck. So, also it's super cool to know that Sean Shizzy, you guys actually really do have the same background. He wants the same as well.
Oh, really?
He wants to do all of these things for his mom.
That's beautiful.
Since
I would love to meet him.
You guys would definitely like relate and connect pretty well, for sure.
I will give him props. I always see fucking gym edits of him. Back when he was blowing the fuck up, I was like, this dude looks cool. Yeah, like, he looks like a fucking anime character.
He does.
The shaved head works very well with him.
Dude, that's what I know. I tell him that sometimes, but his hair now looks sick too, and he really wanted to grow it out. So.
Oh, he grew it out?
Yeah, he grew it out. He's like he has this more of like it's kind of a mullet, curly hair kind of look. He just has curly hair.
Does he live in LA?
Yeah, he lives in LA.
Oh shit,
yeah.
okay.
He moved here like a few months ago. Yeah, moved here a few months ago.
Grab food or something sometime.
Yeah.
I'll hit the gym with y'all. Actually, I would not hit the gym with y'all. I'd be too embarrassed.
Bro, no, that would be sick. We should hit a gym. That'd be fucking dope. He does fucking lift and hit arms like a madman.
No, I can tell, yeah.
Lils Depa asks, is he still in love with Maru?
Oh my god, no. You know who Maru is?
Yeah.
Yeah. She no, I've said it plenty of times. I had a little crush on her, like when I met her. But 2 weeks into that shit, because I met her. No, because I met her and Nick and the rest of the crew at the same time, right? And as I started to hang out with them more and talk to them more, Nick and Sean, I hadn't met Sean at that point. Nick, Sage, and Devin, I got very, very close with them very quickly, to the point where it's like I knew they were gonna be, if not my brothers, then very close friends for many years of my life. And I'm a very big believer in, you date someone in the friend group, and that shit doesn't work out, shit gets messy. So immediately,
especially if you guys are all very close.
Exactly. And they grew up together, right? So in my head, 2 weeks into it, I just put up a wall. I was like, you're forever, off limits. I can't touch you. You're just one of the boys now. But I would also like fake flirt with her for like, I think it was like a year. Bro, I love acting like a loser on the internet. I don't know what it is. Like, I love acting like a fucking loser. Like, the nice guy archetype meme?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, why don't girls want me? They just want the dirt bags. Yeah. Like, I'm a nice guy. That's what I love acting like, because it's funny.
Oh, the nice guy?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I just love, I love making jokes like that.
That's funny.
I'll make videos where I'm like pretend crying and screaming about how like, she doesn't want me. And, yeah, I don't know why. I love doing that shit.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But nah, Madu and I have never been nothing, and will probably never be nothing.
Respect for the wall though. When it comes to friends, man, that shit gets hard and messy. So respect for that.
It's like I care about them too much to ever lose them.
ASAP Dolph asks, what do you do when you feel stuck in life, unsure of how to get where you're trying to go?
I mean, this sounds corny, but you just gotta set goals. Like when you asked me what my dream was, the reason I said, what my long-term goals were and my short-term goals, you can set you can have a dream, right? But if you don't plan out what you're gonna do to achieve that, you're gonna burn out very quickly. And that was a lesson I had to learn. So yeah, you just gotta set goals. And the best practice of setting goals is to set short-term ones and long-term ones. Then when you are comfortable and precise in what goals you want to achieve, then you can go down. Oh, think of it like a bulletin board. Then you can start putting bulletins. I need to do this in order to achieve this, to achieve that. That's how I view it.
Mm. By the way, you definitely should start a YouTube channel.
You think so?
Sure. Yeah, fuck yeah. I think you'd be fucking awesome in it. Plus, I've been doing YouTube for like, I don't know how long, 3 years now or something. And I think it's my favorite platform.
Really?
Even if like, obviously you're not going to get as many views on a 20-minute video as you are like a 30-second TikTok. But it just, something about doing the video just makes me feel so much happier than TikTok.
I think that's what it was too. It's like I said, I haven't posted on TikTok in forever. And it was, the way I blew up was people thought I was hot. And I got validation from it for a very long time. And then once I grew up and I stopped trying to find validation in who thought I was hot or how many likes this video got, social media just became very, very toxic and boring to me. So I took a step away. And then I think with YouTube, it's like I can transition to making the type of content that I actually want to make. Whatever that is, that's something I still got to figure out.
Do you feel like you feel the most fulfillment from like your podcast when you connect to the audience through your podcast or like through your other content?
Definitely the podcast. No, honestly, it's like my Instagram stories.
Oh, really?
Not even my posts. Just, bro, I'll be wilding out on Instagram stories.
Instagram stories is fun, dude.
Yeah, but it's like that's where I post the most, and it's like that's where I have my best ideas and my best jokes. To the point where Wu Talk looked at me one time and he was just like, if you just turned your fucking Instagram stories into like TikToks, you'd blow the fuck up even more. Like, yeah, but
He's probably right, bro.
he's
He's definitely
I
right.
know he's right, yeah. But it's like, I don't know. Instagram stories, like, one, Instagram is so personable, like, people follow me because they already like me. So whoever sees it, most of the time, they're going to enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't get as many, like, hateful comments or whatever. Or, like, just people acting like they know me or the situation or whatever it is. Whereas TikTok, it's like, I could post a fucking random video and then suddenly they're trying to insult me about something else. I just got very tired of that shit.
Yeah, yeah. The comments are unhinged these days. Some of the Instagram Reel comments are fucking crazy.
Dude, Instagram Reels is a fucking battlefield.
It's crazy, dude. There's this kid called Presley Barnes, who's like a 14-year-old blonde kid who looks like Alex Eubanks. And all the comments are like Alex Cumbanks, Andrew Cum Dumpster. Some kid posted his entire IP address and it was like, you're done, little.
Dude, it's like, the internet is terrible.
It's crazy.
That's a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I'm at the age where, like, I've talked about it before. I worry about the youth and how social media affects them. Key example is I wanted to start streaming on Twitch, right? So I sat down and I did all the research I could about, how to blow up and what works, what doesn't, blah, blah, blah. And when it comes to like Neon and Jack Doherty, they I don't know if you know who they are, but basically they just make terrible content. It's them being like,
I saw Neon at Zoo like a week ago.
Yeah.
The other day.
Neon's a little better now, I think, but like whatever. The content they put out is so just degrading and like their whole character is being a troll, right? To them, it's bringing them success, whatever, blah blah blah. It's also bringing them tons of hate. Like, they're the most hated fucking streamers. But if they want to deal with that, go ahead, deal with that. But I saw this thing where it's like this fucking like 16-year-old kid was walking down I think it was like Santa Monica Pier or some pier, and he was streaming on Kick, and he like walked by a table where two women were sitting eating, just takes his hand and takes their food and throws it.
But
for no reason. But it's like, that's where we are now. Because that's what little kids see on social media, and they're like, oh, that brings them money and clout and whatever. And then because you're fucking 16 or 14 or whatever, and you want that, that's what you're going to do. Because they see, in their minds, it's like, this works way better than me trying to, and at that age, like, what are you going to tell the world?
yeah.
So, I don't know. Social media is in a terrible place. There's good aspects to it, of course, but for the most part, I'm a firm believer in social media is a terrible place for the youth.
I love that it's been able to connect all of us, but that perception and like what's going on there is true. Like, you can't run away from the fact that that's true. One of the biggest, like the original foundation for why I created my podcast is because I underwent some really I underwent a really terrible year after I took some oral steroids, ruined my hormones and everything, and it was just a really bad time. But now I'm a completely different person, and I've learned a lot from there. And nowadays, just like you say about how these kids are watching TikToks where people are just doing things that are just out of line, unethical, or just not really how you would want your kid to grow up. Kids are doing the same thing with fucking steroids, straight up drugs, and posting about it all the time, and it's becoming a bigger thing. So there's kids that have come up to me at Zoo Culture, literally asking me about steroid advice, asking if they think I should jump on steroids, asking me what to do, what they think about certain compounds. I've had tons of teenagers, fucking kids, below the age of 18, and it's crazy for me to see, but like I tell them the straight up truth about what I believe, and that's why I created this podcast and call it Trensparent, is because I want people to understand, like, what are you actually getting into when you're taking steroids? It's crazy.
It's a lifelong thing too, isn't it?
It's a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
You take steroids, you're stuck under the needle forever, unless you want to just have a really miserable rest of your life.
Yeah.
But it's just it's a whole nother world, and these kids don't really understand what they're doing to themselves. But there are a lot of TikToks that tend to glorify steroid use.
Yeah.
Because it gets them big and jacked, and kids want to look like that. Exactly. And then now the kids are also talking about like how good it makes them feel, how it makes them fucking better, all these things. And it has enticed a lot of the younger audience to be interested in taking steroids, whether or not they want to be like the kids on TikTok or they just want to be bigger. Yeah. So I would just like people to understand just that what you're getting yourself into is like, if you hardly have the time to, like I say, like, I don't know, do extra work or like go out of your way to help somebody else. If you don't feel like you have very much time for something like that or very much money, you are not going to have what you need to be okay on steroids.
Yeah.
The amount of time required, the amount of knowledge required, the amount of upkeep, going to a doctor consistently, getting blood work done, having a medical professionals that won't judge you for what you're doing, and then also buying all the other drugs that are needed to just upkeep your health, your organs, while you're on these drugs that you're injecting into your body. It's fucking crazy. So
that sounds pretty crazy.
It's fucking crazy. So yeah, I think social media is kind of a dangerous place, but hopefully like we can try to use social media as well to fight against that. Yeah. You know. So
Are there any gym creators that are skinny?
Yeah. Like I don't mean to call you skinny, but Max Tuning, who is the creator of Sour Strips, the candy. He is Christian Guzman's best friend, who's the creator of Alpha Elite. Okay. And they're all in Houston, Texas. And Max Tuning is just like this lean, like shredded dude. He doesn't seem to have a lot of muscle, but you look aesthetic as fuck. But he pulls weight, so he's just a power lifter. Gotcha. So I think that's what's super cool about watching him is like you can see this guy who like has such a very thin frame, but then he just pulls crazy weight.
I meant more along the lines of like, because what I don't ever see when it comes to like gym TikToks or whatever in your world, right? Everybody's already big. Everybody's already established in working out and shit. I wonder if there's someone out there who's gonna blow up showing their journey from like, say they look like me, right? Like 120, never worked out before. Then they start going to the gym. Then, you know, they're documenting it. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
The only thing that I can think of, and there are a lot of people like that. Like I think Sam Sulek started when he was like younger, but now he blew up. I think there's a fuck ton of people that are blogging their journey now at the beginning of the journey. Unfortunately, they don't get really very much exposure because everyone wants to see the crazy shreds, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The only time I gained exposure is when I when I looked as unnatty as possible. But there's like this kid who I think is like popping off right now, and he's like a really young teenager. Like his parents still bring him around and everything, and he has like these tiny little brothers and sisters. So it's kind of cool because it's like people are supporting this kid.
Yeah,
it's growing, and I don't know. He has like hundreds and thousands of followers already, which is insane. So I don't. I think that's probably the closest example. Like I think he is still kind of jacked for his age, but like it's cool to see him in the beginning of the journey. Everyone's like curious to see him later on. I just wish people would like act that same way around this kid Presley Barnes, but I don't know.
No.
I feel so bad for him. All right. We're over time, but I want to ask the last couple questions. There was someone that was like, I know you're buff and big, but Viet would totally beat you up in a street fight.
Probably not. Definitely not.
You definitely beat me up. I don't fight. It's all for show.
Yeah, I try not to fight nowadays.
You don't have to answer this, but Leo Time asks, what's your body count?
That's the thing. I stopped keeping count. It's as of right now, I think it's mid-30s. If not lower, I don't think it's higher, but probably mid-30s. Either mid-20s or mid-30s, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've never really kept count of like body count. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I haven't either because I don't know. I feel like it's hard to. That makes me sound like I'm a hoe. I don't know.
Also, whenever I fuck a girl and I don't nut, I don't count the body. So.
What?
I don't count it.
That's crazy.
If I counted those, then maybe like 40. I don't know.
I'd be like 2 then.
Nah, I'm playing. Just like I think it's mid-30s. I'm pretty open about it.
Hindsight asks, how does it feel to have a group of friends and a fan base who care about and uplift you?
I mean, I've said it the whole podcast, this episode, but like it's like one of my driving forces in life. Like to have that, especially coming from where I came from and what I went through, like a whole life of feeling like I had no support. It was life changing. That's why I described that Molly moment where I looked up and I felt safe for the first time. Like it was life changing. So, and it's also cool to like I have this weird thing about social media where it keeps me humble, but like I don't view myself as famous or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm popping. To the point where it's like I'll watch TikTok and I'll see other creators, and then in my head they're like, quite big, and then I go to the followers, their profile, and it's like I have more followers, right? But in my head I've never thought of myself like that. Like I'm pretty small. I haven't really accomplished anything I really want to yet. But then I'll meet people, whether it be outside or like at Coachella, I met some people who come up to me and they tell me like, oh, you're a big inspiration to me and this and that. And it's always nice to have that reminder because I never kind of view it like that. I'm just another guy with like some followers. That's how I've always viewed it.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, I'm just hoping that I like go through enough experiences so I can offer people value. I think that's the only thing I think about. Like, definitely nothing special, but hopefully if I can go through more things and continue to experience, then maybe I'll have some kind of anecdote.
I don't think you should even think like that though. I think you've been through enough and know you're very well spoken.
Thanks,
and
bro.
you talk about things quite well, and you've been through enough to the fact that it might not appeal to everybody, but people who have lost somebody or went through something similar that you have, you're already changing their life. So I don't think it should be of I want to go through more suffering so that I can offer some light back into the world. It should just be like, this is what I've went through. This is the light I can offer back. And this is life. Like, we're always going to go through more. So
That's fucking
why wish
facts,
for it?
bro.
Yeah, why wish for it?
Well, I'm definitely not wishing for it, but it's definitely happening anyways. Fuck. Janessa asks, oh, I also forgot to say, like, I didn't think we would have like a similar audience at all. Like I was like assuming like this guy probably has like all female followers. I just have a bunch of dudes that want to follow me for being jacked.
Yeah.
So, but then I had like a few people like that DM like, oh shit, like I love it or whatever when they saw the story. So
it's
really cool to see.
When I first blew up, it was very, very. I mean, it's still female dominated, but I do it on TikTok. I think it was like 97% women, 3% men.
Damn.
And that was for like a year or two.
That's fucking hilarious.
Because all I would post was like thirst traps or like medium sinking, right? And then as I got to like making more videos where I expressed my personality or what and talked more, ranted, whatever. I'm just one of the boys.
Yeah. Like, I have a really dope friend that she's probably gonna watch this, but if she said her mom is really into Adam Levine, like she's obsessed with Adam Levine, like whatever, like I don't know. I think she like, I don't know if she says it to her husband or whatever, or like even when her husband's not around, she just like talks about how much she loves Adam Levine.
What the fuck?
And she's like, I've been trying to convince my mom that she fucking likes Bad Boys. She loves Bad Boys, and she doesn't want to admit it. She just says that she doesn't love Bad Boys, but I'm like, it's obvious that all you want is guys like Adam Levine, just fucking tatted, just bad as shit. That shit's a fucking thing. I ask everybody this question at the end of every podcast. So if you're gonna die tomorrow and you were going to have one message that you could send to the entire world, what would you send?
I know what I want to say, but I'm trying to find the right words to say it. For lack of better words, just spread love. Like every action in your life should be from a place of love. Not only does it make the world a better place, but I promise you it will bring you happiness. And I've talked about this experience before. When I was at the height of my depression, when I was like 19, wanting to kill myself so badly. So gone to the point where I was on Google looking up how to be happy. That's what I typed into Google because I was at my wit's end. I watched this TED talk of this woman speaking, and title was like the secret to happiness, blah blah blah. And basically what it was she was saying like, give as much as you can, give without expecting anything back, and that will bring you the happiness that you're looking for. So I started to implement that into my life. And I've always done that since I was a little kid. I've always been very, very selfless, but I made it a point to be as selfless as I can. Even if it was detrimental to me, if I was helping someone else out, I will try to do it. And I think that, it has brought me happiness. It allows me, if not happiness, it allows me to look in the mirror and be happy with who I am. I can look in the mirror and look at myself and say, I like this guy. And that's really all that matters. I don't really care who likes me or who doesn't, as long as I look in the mirror and I'm able to like myself. So.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the podcast, bro. That was sick.
Of course, brother.
Where can everybody find you?
AKA Viet Trap on Instagram. I'm shadow banned right now. So type the whole thing in.
Do you know why?
I'm very wild on my Instagram stories. I think I got banned because I told somebody, I said all rapists should die.
Damn.
Yeah. So yeah. Viet Trap on TikTok. Follow our podcast on undertheinfluence.show on YouTube and on Instagram. And that's pretty much it.
Nice. Thanks for coming on the podcast, bro.
Of course.
Love you guys. Thank you guys for coming on. If you guys would like to support us, you can rate us a 5-star on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you find your podcast, or subscribing to the YouTube channel, or keep clicking the bell button because that's what gets us greater sick-ass guests like Viet today. So, love you guys.
Love you.